Good evening.
Hi.
Hi. Hi, Nathan, Kevin, and Alyssa. Are you ready for class?
Absolutely.
All right, great. So I shared this Google slide with you. It looks like you've already got it open. That's wonderful. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you, too. We'll just make sure everyone's looking at the same thing, but you should be looking at that right now. All right. So this is the last section of our Chapter 7. So your test will be later this week. Don't forget about that. Today we're going to talk about cross-sections of three-dimensional figures. And our learning objective here, we want to describe the two-dimensional figures that are created when we slice a three-dimensional figure. We're going to start off with some vocabulary like we always do. Does anyone remember what a face is? What did we talk about the other day when we were talking about 3D shapes?
It's the flat side of a 3D shape.
It is. It's a flat side. So I'll type that in there for you, Alyssa, of a 3D shape. It's a good definition. Nathan, can you think of the base? Well, how do we describe that? And could you type that in there as well to the Google slide?
Base.
Not you, Kevin. You gotta wait your turn.
Base would be the flat side on ground.
So it is like the bottom. There's something else that's special about the base.
Can I answer?
Yes, go ahead, Alyssa.
It describes a shape.
It does describe the shape. So let's add that in there too. It also describes the shape. So if we had like a triangular prism, it has a triangle base. Okay, great. Kevin, I see you're already ready to go in and type in what the edge is. So I'll let you do that.
Sure.
Good. Yep, it connects the faces. Very good. And then the vertex, you can go ahead and do that one. Whoever wants to. Oh, you guys are racing for it.
There we go.
It is. Yep. It's basically just the corner. Yep. It's where three faces would meet. Great. So we have some new vocabulary today, and you guys should be writing this down in your journal, or if you just want to save this to your notes folder, that's fine too. But your new vocab word is going to be cross-section. The fancy definition, it is the two-dimensional figure that is formed when a plane intersects. Oh my goodness. A three-dimensional figure. Okay, so think of it as like Fruit Ninja, but with shapes. It's if you cut the shape and you turn it and you look at it, that's the shape that it makes. Alright, so I'm going to go back to sharing my screen with you. And we'll go back over here. I do have, if you look at the next slide, I know you're all still on the vocab slide. If you go over to the next one, I have, here we go, just waiting on Nathan and Alyssa. So go to the next slide. There we go. So I do have this little online cross-section tool. You want to get this opened up in one of your tabs there. We're going to play around with this in just a minute. So I'll let you open that up a while. I'll give you a couple minutes for that. A couple seconds. Is anyone not able to open the link? Nathan, were you able to open the link okay?
I believe so.
Okay,
Should
Kevin, were you able to open it okay?
I have.
Kevin?
I have this.
Kevin, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Good.
Correct.
Nathan, that's exactly what it should look like. Alyssa, were you able to get it open okay? Great. Alright, so first thing we want to do, next slide, you can all move to the next slide with me right here. Okay, and we're going to look at, Nathan, you got to catch up. There we go. We have a rectangular prism right here. Okay, we want to look at if we slice it with the side parallel to face ABCD, what that shape is going to make. So, can anyone kind of like hover over where side ABCD is? Can you kind of see it? Can you share your screen with me so I can see that you're hovering over the right spot? Looks good. Kevin, can you share your screen with me? Very nice. Good. And Alyssa?
Sorry, I'm having technical difficulties.
It's alright, it happens. Alright, while I wait for you to share that, Alyssa, you can always peek back over to my screen. So ABCD's right here. Okay, if we have a plane that's parallel to this, it's going to be as if we're just going to chop this rectangular prism right in half. Okay, so like long ways. How would you describe if we chopped it like this, and we open that up and look at it, what kind of shape would that make? What do you think? Type your guesses in right here. What kind of shape would that make? Again, I'm slicing it. It's parallel to this top face right here. What 2D shape would that make? It's a little tough, right? So let's go over and look at this this tool that I shared with you, that I had you click on. Okay, so this is what you want to have on your screen. Make sure you have this on your screen. I'll check back. Nathan, you got to get this on your screen. Kevin and Alyssa, you want to share your screen with me too. Okay, so we have this plane right here. It's parallel to the top, which was like the longer side. So I'm going to just kind of move this. There we go. Now it's parallel to the long side. Now if I were to turn this shape and look at it, that makes it a little easier to see. What shape is this, Alyssa?
Rectangle.
Rectangle. Awesome. So it makes a rectangle. Okay, now let's say on the next slide, everyone move over to slide 5. Okay, this slide's a little bit different. The last one we were looking at if it was parallel to this side, if it did not cross it. Now we want one that's perpendicular. It's going to intersect right through it. Okay, so it's actually going to make what this time? Not a rectangle, but a what? What do you think? What do you think, Nathan? Good, it is going to make a square, right? So if I were to pretend that this had a square base, it does not. You can clearly see it's a rectangle, but if I can pretend, right, and I would look at it from the side, if that was a square base, that would make a square. That's exactly right. Okay, now these next two slides, I do want you to share your screen with me so that I can see you try this one out kind of on your own. Okay, we're slicing now a rectangular pyramid. Again, we describe it by its base. It has a rectangular base. I want you to describe the figure that's created when you slice it by a plane parallel to the base. And I want you to share your perfect. So you got your screen shared with me. So if you look over on the side of that tool, there's one that says sections of pyramids and cones. You're going to click on that, and we're doing rectangular pyramids. Perfect. So, look, Alyssa, I'm looking at your screen right now. So as this is right now, is this plane parallel to the base? That was what was on the slide.
Yes.
Yes. So if you were to click on that little button right there, that view from section, what shape would that make?
Square.
If it was a square pyramid, yes. So it makes a rectangle, right?
Oh, yeah.
Good. Now the next slide. This is probably one of the harder ones. Okay. We want to see if a plane that is parallel to the two longer sides. So these are your two longer sides right here. And it also passes through the top vertex, this top corner right here. What shape that makes? And let's look at Nathan's screen. Oh, Kevin, you've got it done already. So I want you to make this, Kevin. Right now it's parallel to the two shorter sides. Can you make it parallel to the two longer sides? And then it also goes through the top vertex. Very good. And hit view from section. And since you built that, I'll let Nathan describe what shape that made. Nathan.
Triangle.
It did. It made a triangle. Very good. All right. On to slide number 8. Slide number 8. I want you guys to type in some things that you noticed about the two-dimensional figures that we created. Okay, and you can talk amongst yourselves. One person can type. So what are some things that you guys noticed? Nathan, you want to make sure you're typing in the big box down there. Yes, they do make shapes. That's good. Okay, they make shapes that coincide. Kevin, I don't see you type in anything. There we go. Oh, there we go. That coincide with the way they're sliced. What do you mean by that, Kevin and Alyssa? Can you explain a little bit? You don't have to type it in there. You can just say it out loud.
If it's perpendicular, it's one shape, and if it's parallel, it's a different shape.
Okay, so maybe it's something about the plane and the faces. Any other ideas, Alyssa? Do you have any other ideas?
The number of sides that we cut through kind of made like a 2D shape with the same number of sides.
That's exactly correct. So I'm going to type that in there quick. So the number of sides that were cut through make a shape with that number of sides. And I know this is kind of worded funny, but basically, if you cut through 3 sides, you have a what? What shape has 3 sides?
Triangle.
Triangle. Very good. Alright, so I want to have a little discussion on the next slide. This is going to be our last slide. Okay, and I just want to talk about the cross-sections of a cube. Okay, we want to come up with all of the different two-dimensional figures that we can make by slicing a cube. So, when you go back into your little tool on the side there, back under sections of prisms and cylinders, you want to click on cross-sections of a cube. And now this one looks a little bit different when it loads. Okay, so you're either going to have this, or you're going to have, I actually want you to have this one. Let me